rather have Trump as a dictator or Biden as a president?
I'd rather have Trump as a dictator than Biden any day. It's kind of obvious who knows what they're doing. There is no dictatorship with Trump. He cares. He's for America.
I mean, he did say he would be one for a day, right?
For a day. But I still don't see it.
What's one thing that he did when he was president last time that made your life better?
A lot of things. I think in a sense, because he kind of made everybody wake up to what's going on. And that's what made my life better. Because before him, I didn't realize everything that was going on.
Can you tell me a little, like specifically what some of those things are that are going on?
All the things that the government has been doing. For example, they obviously get people in who they want in no matter what, regardless if the voting is real or fake.
Do you think that the 2020 election was stolen?
Absolutely. Yes, without a doubt. Trump definitely has more followers, and he does more work with the rallies. It's kind of obvious. Trump's rallies are really long, and they wrap around like blocks and blocks, and Biden doesn't have anyone showing up to his. So 100%.
I'm Rayy Vana, and welcome back to Rebel HQ. My oh my, that MAGA Barbie is not too bright. I love that she said Trump had done many things to improve her life, but all she seemed to be able to list was that he woke her up like a fascist alarm clock of sorts. And this next clip is going to have you questioning why she even agreed to do this interview, because once the questions get a little bit more tough than who will you be supporting for president, she starts to flounder and puts her ignorance on full display.
Do you support the foreign aid, giving foreign aid to Ukraine and Israel at a fraught time in international policy right now?
I would have to say, I think what we need to do is focus on our country first. Before we go and spending money on other people and helping them, even though other countries do need our help, if we can't help our own country first, then we shouldn't be helping other countries.
For Ukraine, a lot of people are saying it helps us because it defends democracy.
It does. I completely understand.
I just had to pause really quick to say to her, ma'am, I don't think that you completely understand anything, but please do continue.
But I honestly think that the government, got us into this mess. So,
The government got us into the mess?
yes.
So you don't think it had to do with Putin, it's more the U.S. government?
It really depends on who's running the show, and I think it's because of who's running the show is kind of why we are where we're at right now, because Trump would not have allowed this to happen, and we wouldn't be in this mess right now if he was the one running it.
How would you imagine that Trump as president would have stopped Putin from going into Ukraine?
Absolutely, because Trump doesn't put up with anything, and he would have, he would have threatened them, and this wouldn't have happened. He would not put up with anything. He would let them know face to face what he thinks, and he would let them know, like, hey, basically, if you do this to us, we're going to do this back to you. Don't even try.
But it was being done to Ukraine, not to us.
Right.
Wow. I mean, what can you even really say to respond to that aside from just wow? I know that foreign policy isn't a lot of American strong suits. However, I would assume that at least most people could form together some coherent sentence when speaking about the biggest foreign policy issues of modern time. And her arguments there, wow, they were rock solid. Donald Trump would have prevented the invasion of Ukraine by Vladimir Putin simply by looking him in the eyes and telling him, hey, Vlad, cut it out. And it's ironic because while celebrating Donald Trump as the former president, she is seemingly upset that Joe Biden's administration has been defending Ukraine from the Russian invasion, as well as providing weapons to Israel, despite the fact that Donald Trump was recently bragging about doing exactly that.
For 4 straight years, I kept America safe, I kept Israel safe, I kept Ukraine safe, and I kept the entire world safe. As Viktor Orban said, he kept the entire world safe. He said they respected him, and America, when he was president, was feared. We were feared. It's not a nice word to use, but we were feared. They didn't play games with us, and now they laugh at us like we're a bunch of foolish jerks. What a horrible turn at stake. And we will once again have peace through strength when all of us become the 47th President of the United States. Okay?
But to MAGA Barbie and the rest of the MAGA cult, it doesn't really matter if they're hypocritical. It doesn't matter if they are criticizing Joe Biden for something that they celebrated when Trump did. It doesn't matter that there's no evidence that the election was stolen, that there was massive scale election fraud, or that Donald Trump actually won. So long as MAGA Barbie saw long lines for rallies for Donald Trump and not so many rallies for Joe Biden. That is all the evidence that they require to formulate their opinions. In fact, less than that. All they need is for Donald Trump to tell them that that's what they need to believe.
We need him back because if not, he's saving us. It's us against the government. And that's what he means. He's going to fight for us.
But if he's president, he's the government, right?
Not really, because he's not a politician.
That woman gets to vote, and her vote counts just as much as yours. And yes, that should scare you. It should motivate you, though, to go to the polls so that she and the rest of the MAGA cult aren't the ones deciding who the next president of the United States will be.